Alright, guys, we're back up and running, I think. Just trying to get rid of some stuff. Free up some space. But yeah. Where were we? Let's see what this man had to say again. And we are breaking this up into sections as far as the live stream is concerned because of the Wi-Fi tonight. So if you didn't see the rest of it, go catch up on the rest of it before you watch this one. Um, but we're gonna try this again. Um, my apologies for how long this took to get this moving and going properly. But we're hopefully it's done screwing up now and it's working properly now. So we'll see. It looks like it is. I think we're okay. But I was just elaborating on the fact that, we were having those types of same discussions that Dan and Dave were having in the office, during draft day. And it's just amazing to me. That all of that hard work, that me and my team have put together, and we're having the same exact conversations. It's mind blowing. This is year 2, the same thing, It's the same type of players that were on our mocks like all months, and it shows that we're doing something right, and it shows that we're making an impact, and and the things that we are putting into this research is paying off. It's turning into real results. And whether the management is paying attention to what we're doing or not, it's lining up. And I'm going to send this to my group and let them know, this is the success we've had so far, and that we need to continue doing what we're doing because it's working. We're finding these quality players that Dan and Dave can do something with, and the scouting department that they have, it's working. So, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this to be egotistical. This is facts. Go into the blueprints. Go into my VODs. These are the same players. Like, it's on record. It's crazy. And I feel honored that we've been getting all of these picks correct. It shows we know what we're doing, and we're putting in the work. Me and my team are doing this for free. You know what I mean? We're doing it for you, and for the progress of this franchise, and it's showing. So, shout out to the scout teams. We're putting in the same work that they are. Except they're traveling around and doing the same stuff that they're doing. It's wild. So, let's finish this video out, and then I'll summarize the rest of it whatever you guys didn't see, and we'll talk about it.
Opportunity to go in there and to challenge our roster. We got guys that fit our culture and the play style that we're looking for.
All right, though, man. Feels good to be here, man. I'm ready to go.
With our draft class this year, you feel really good, the initial feeling, but then the players got to go out there. They got to make the plays. They got to do their part. We all got to
Facts right there. That's facts.
put the work in. If we're not going to put the work in, the results aren't going to come.
Ooh, that line hits hard. That line hits hard right there. If we're not going to put the work in, we're not going to get the results. That's straight facts. This man is spitting facts right now. Are y'all hearing this? Like, that's my coach, man. That's my coach. That's my coach. That's my GM and that's my coach right there. If y'all ain't buying it after hearing that right there, I don't know what to tell you. I straight up, I don't know what to tell you. Because you're missing the train, bro. You're missing it. And we still got people that doubt this, man. You still got people that doubt. And understandably so. We went through 10 years of hell, as a franchise. Let's call it what it is. There's no other way to put it. It was 10 years of hell. But you get out of it what you put in. That's exactly what this man was just saying right there. You get out of it what you put in. If you're willing to put the work in, you're going to get the results. If you're not willing to put the work in, then what are we doing here? That's straight facts, Dan. Let's go, man. That's a beautiful statement right there. That's beautiful.
The grind starts now. It's only the beginning, and shit, I'm ready to get after it.
That's the energy, man. That's the
work's
energy.
never done. We're never one player away or two players away. We're never satisfied. We're never going to be satisfied.
Facts. This man is never satisfied. You heard that. This man is never satisfied. The work is never done. We're always looking to upgrade. Straight facts. This is how this team should be running right now. Oh my God. This is beyond awesome. To me, this is beyond awesome. And I'm excited. I'm finally excited about Panthers football. For the first time in 10 years. I don't know about y'all. Are y'all getting that same energy right now? I'm finally hyped to watch a Panthers season. Even if we don't make it far in the playoffs. Even if we just barely make the playoffs. I'm still hyped, dude. After hearing stuff like that. Dude. He's saying everything that we need to know. And he's saying everything that needs to be said. And not only is he saying it, he's doing it. That's two different things. You can talk a big game. You can say a whole bunch of stuff. As a Panthers head coach, you could be a GM and talk your junk, man. But if it's not on the field, it's not getting us wins. Period. The difference is Dan and Dave. Look at the results we're getting. And what you saw in the second half of last year, that was a drop in the bucket of what's coming. The fact that we almost beat the Chiefs and the Eagles, Super Bowl champions in their own rights. And we almost beat them both last year. We came within 7 points of both. That's results. That's results. All y'all talk about, you want results. There's your results. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else you're wanting at this point. This man is laying it out for you. He's telling you what we're looking for. He's telling you what our goals are. He's very transparent. He's very honest about it. And y'all stop thinking he's lying. He ain't lying. That's your own mindset getting in the way. This man has not said a single lie. Not yet. Stop playing.
At the end of the day, we'll see where the chips fall. And, I think if we do put the work in, I think those chips will fall in a good way.
Yes, they will. Yes, indeed they will, Dan. And they have been. Fucking awesome blueprint. Awesome blueprint. God, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Alright, so what did we learn? Let's talk about what we learned today from that blueprint. I'm going to summarize it so y'all don't have to go through all these parts of the live streams and garbage, because of the Wi-Fi. But let's talk about it, though. Alright, so first of all, I love the chemistry between Bryce and Ted already. That's the first thing I want to talk about. And if you got that going already, you're already in the making for a great season with these two. Second thing I want to talk about is Dan is already telling you this is the plan. This is what we're doing. No holes barred. No bull crap. This is our plan. We are going to try to make the playoffs. Period. We are going to try to take back the division. Y'all, he ain't playing. He ain't playing. He's coming in there with that fire. He wants it. This is a coach that is hungry for wins. That is hungry for success. That's what we've been needing in Carolina for 10 long years of this drought in Carolina. And wandering through the desert. This is what we've been needing. You could hear it in his voice while he's talking. You can tell. So, when I look at some of the decisions made in this draft, let's look at the decision for Tet. Let's start with that. I think based on the opportunity to make that trade with the Rams, I think we made the right decision. Trying to push for way more than they're probably willing to give us. And asking for that. I think that was the right call. I will still say that's the right call. And I think they expected that to get turned down. They fully expected it, which is good. Because I don't see a team in their right mind taking the offer that we're throwing out there. You know, to give up McMillan. That's how much they think of McMillan. And I think that really goes to say something about Tet, you know, as far as who he is and why we liked him as much as we did. We had like so many of these rumors come out there of us going after Jelon Walker, and I bought into him too. I've been the first one to tell you I bought into him too, because they seem so real. Like, when it comes to draft stuff, it's okay to BS a little bit. It's okay to do that. Because you're trying to hide what your actual draft pick is. You know, you're trying to deceive other teams so they don't know what you're doing. You know? And let's face it, it's 2025. It's an age of technology. So, you know, there's so much advanced technology out there. It's so easy to figure out what other people are doing. You know, take the Patriots with Spygate, for example. You know, they're putting people with cameras on the other sidelines. You know, it didn't take them long to figure out what those signals are and use them against other teams. If they could do that with Spygate, imagine how much more advanced it is now in 2025 with technology when it comes to the draft, when it comes to analyzing people's intentions. You know, leaks are so easy to come by when it comes to trying to figure out what other teams are trying to do. So, with that being said, we did an excellent job of minimalizing those leaks and choosing Tet. I think we did an excellent job there. I'm very pleased with that. And we're getting better with it every year. Like, there's a difference between lying, you know, when it comes to the draft, and lying for the right reasons. And we lied for the right reason when it came to the draft. That's when it becomes acceptable. You know, because you're trying to fool other teams. So, shout out to Dave on that one for deceiving these other teams and doing an excellent job doing so. You know, that could not have been easy to do. I'd have to say it's not easy, and I know it hurts. You know, having to put on a false facade. You know, for the fans that really, really had their heart set on Jelon Walker. You know, and it's like, you know, when it doesn't happen, it's like, you know, shocked face. You know, but these guys knew what they wanted. They knew what they were doing the whole time. And I saw something where these guys had their heart set on Tet like months before the draft. Months. And I'm talking December. December. They had already settled on this dude. I was like, dang, man. The bowl games weren't even over by then. And you're already settled on this dude. Okay. I'm down. If that's how they feel about this dude, man, that's how they feel. You know. You still had the Jets, who could have taken a wide receiver at that point. You could have had one or two other teams that could have taken Tet from us, but they didn't. So we made the right call ultimately, I think. You know, in retrospect, now getting that that roundtable discussion ideas, getting into the heads of Dan and Dave. Um, so the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that they valued Princely as much as they did. Listen to the conversation that they had about Princely. You know, they said, you know, what other players are worth taking over Princely? I was like, bro, listen to how he said that in the video. I was like, these guys are dead set on this dude. Wow. And now looking back at the videos, you know, I can kind of see why. But, you know, during the draft, you're going to have emotions flowing, you know, and the drinks are flowing, and, you know, all this is going on, you know, extra in the background. So, of course, it's going to get emotional, man. You know, you're going to get pissed off when your players that you've had on your mock board for 2 months aren't going to get picked, you know. So, yeah, you're going to get frustrated by it. But the fact that we traded up at the time that we did, look at the Titans. The Titans were going to go for a defensive end right after us. That's what a lot of people missed. They weren't paying attention to that. See, I was watching that. I pointed that out too. There were 2 other defensive ends that got taken before that. But you know where I pointed that out at? Post-draft stream. Post-draft stream. When we started looking back at all these picks, when we had the time to do so, and things were not as rushed or crazy, that's when you can go back and reflect. And you can say, okay, this is why we made the decision we did. Why? Because it's important. You know, somehow, some way, we knew the Titans were going to go for a defensive end. I don't know how we did. But they did. And if you look up on your screen here, I'm going to show you what they went with. Elagio from UCLA. You see my point now? You see why we traded up? That was a calculated move.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them?
I'm starting to understand this now, man.
That hoodie is giving. You
Starting to understand some of these moves
Thanks to the
that we're
Chase
making.
mobile app, your kid can shop independently.
Starting to make sense. Oh, my bad. I didn't realize YouTube was going in the background. Alright. But yeah. That was a calculated move, man. And then there goes Benjamin Morrison right after that. So, you see why we're paying attention to some of this stuff, man? We're watching what happens after JT. And we're saying, okay, tight end, corner, offensive tackle, linebacker, tight end. Alright, we ain't worried about them. We already knew what these teams were going to do. It's the Titans that are unpredictable. So we said, okay, what are the Titans up to? Are they going to take a defensive end there? And that was the conversation they had off camera. The conversation they had on camera was about Princely. Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all catching my drift here. This is why this is important here. When you start analyzing these moves, they start to make a lot more sense later when you start looking at the board. A lot more sense. So, the next move we made was for Nick Skirton. and we traded up for this dude. So, why did we trade up for him? He's athletic, he's an attack dog, and he's exactly what we're looking for. You know what I mean? So where's Princely? Princely and Donovan from Boston College was the guy I think we were originally hunting for because we had success with Luke Kuechly, but we'll keep that a buck, man. Keep that a buck. Third round is where we got Princely here at 77. And again, look what happens after Princely gets drafted. Look at the Cardinals. What got picked? Edge rusher, right? Are y'all starting to see a pattern? This was calculated. All these moves were calculated. These guys know what they're doing. Stop doubting this management. If you're doubting this management right now, stop doubting it. And that was Jordan Birch that got taken. You imagine if the Cardinals had gotten Princely? He's been 4 years there, have success, but not as much success as he's going to have with us. You imagine if Nick Skirton ended up with the Titans? Same thing. They'd both end up free agents after 4 years. Count on it. Then they started talking about fourth round. What did we do in the fourth? Trevor Etienne. Now I want y'all to keep in mind. Yes, I was pissed off because we didn't take Danny Stutzman here at 112. And we let the Saints get him. And the Eagles got Ty Robbins. That frustrated me even more. And of course, D.L. Walker ends up with the Bills, which pissed me off highly at the time. These are good players that I had on my board. But you know what? We got Trevor Etienne. And the way they were talking about Trevor Etienne, bro, I can't make this up. They were valuing Trevor over all these players, bro. They were acting like he was it out of the players that were remaining. I was like, man. How many times did I have Trevor Etienne in my mocks? How many times, y'all? How many times in the month of April? Y'all can count them. Y'all can go back in the VODs and you can count them. I was like, what? Ain't no way. Ain't no way that this discussion is happening right now. And they said, we can get the safeties later. We can get the safeties later. They said that like 2 or 3 times. You know, I was just like, what? There's no way. That's what happens when you do your homework on a player. You properly do your homework on a guy like Trevor Etienne. And I'm excited for that. That means we got an excellent staff that really knows what they're doing. And then you got Lathan Ransom. You know, they were saying Lathan Ransom Excuse me. And there's one other safety, that they liked at that point. And they were just like, take your pick. Take your pick. Take your pick. Hey, yo, take your pick. Between Lathan and somebody else. I bet you it was Malachi Moore. Let me see. Where was he drafted at? I swear that should have been 5th round. Last I recall, it was 5th round. Let me double check that real quick. Dang. 6th round? Where did he get taken 3rd? Let me check 3rd again. I just gotta make sure. There's Watts. There's Watts. That's what started the whole chain off. Yeah. So, did I just miss his name in here? Let me see. Craig Woodson. There's Billy Bowman. We got Lathan. There he is. There he is. Jets got him. Jets got him at 130. So it was Malachi Moore. That's exactly who I thought it was. And they were saying either or. That's wild. Man. I feel like we got the better of the two, to be honest. I did not expect Lathan to still be there. I'll be real with you. I did not expect that man to still be on that board. We got a steal of a safety right there. That's what I'm saying, man. The quality that we got out of these players in these picks, man, A+. Straight up A+. Because every one of these guys is going to add to our board and help us in a very, very positive way. So we didn't have a 5th. We went to the 6th, right? Sixth, and our pick right here, Jimmy Horn. And I still feel like we hit a home run on Jimmy Horn as our last pick, but we got Cam Robinson too. Where's Cam? See, Cam is at 5th. Cam was 5th round. Oh, we got Mitchell Evans too. I forgot about Mitchell Evans. They wasn't even mentioning Mitchell Evans. I had Mitchell Evans on several of my boards. And then I started putting Gadsden on my boards instead of Mitchell Evans because I started seeing something a little bit different about Gadsden, as far as his oh God, I forgot what it was. Was it his route running or was it his catching percentage? I think it was his catching percentage was better than Mitchell Evans. But point being, there's Cam Jackson, and I said, finally, we got our defensive tackle. Finally. At 140. And we just went for it. We did not fall for the distraction of Shador Sanders. We let that distraction, carry everybody else. You know, we were dead set focused on what we wanted in our vision, and that's what I love that about Dan and Dave. When they get locked in and they get into a draft room, they know exactly what they want. They're not playing around. They're not joking around. It's just straight to business. You know what I mean? You know, it's... Yeah, they may have a conversation about some socks or something like that, you know. Yeah. David Tepper's got his loafers on, you know, you got your chicken sandwich, you know, but at the end of the day, the main focus is on what we're drafting. And when it's time to get down to business, they get down to business. And there's just... You could tell. You could read the body language. You could listen to it in the context that they were talking about these players. They were convinced these players are going to help us. And so far, so good. First year, every one of the players that they brought in has helped us, except for Brooks. And to be fair, this man's been on the injured list. But everybody else has helped us. Every one of them. That's accolades to the scouting department. That's months and months and months of work. They start out in August and they start working from there. And they never stop. You know? They travel around, they do all this work, you know, they don't get noticed enough. They don't get the respect enough that they deserve. You know? And I'm giving them that respect. Because it's translating to the field. It's translating to the coaching staff. It is translating to the points on the board, you know, that help get us wins. You know, it may not have showed up as much last year because that was the first year of the process, but as you go along, it's going to show up more and more and more and more. I'm giving this team a couple of games of grace period, you know, just starting out this year, you know, because of the fact that it takes them a little bit longer to gel, you know, but once they gel and they get settled in, that's when you're going to start seeing it. Just like the second half of last year. They're going to be a little rusty. You know, and that's normal. That happens to every team. But once that starts to make a difference, you know, and we start seeing the results on the scoreboard, we start seeing wins, I think everybody that's been doubting us will start to listen. They'll start to perk their ears up and start to listen to what we're saying. Because, you know, we took the time to research these players for a reason. You know, we're doing it for free. We're not licensed. We're not under contract. We're, you know, none of that. We're just trying to help this team get better. And I'll say it again. The fact that they were having the same conversations we were blows my mind. Both years. Same players. That gives me chills as a Panthers fan. I don't know about y'all, man. We putting in the work, though. It's paying off. And I feel privileged that they are paying attention to what we're doing. And recognizing what we're doing. We don't want the credit. We're not in it for the credit. We never were. We just want to make this team better. And the reward for us is seeing that these same conversations are happening behind closed doors. That's our reward. And seeing the results on the field from it. That makes me so happy and satisfied as a Panthers fan. And a little emotional too. To be real with you. Because it's one thing when you are just a casual fan and you happen to be right about some things, you know? But it's a total another thing when that list of things happens to be right, you know, and you put in the work and you're having the same discussions and it pays off on the field. When it pays off, that's when the chill bumps come. And to know that we helped felicitate that gives me a incredibly satisfying feeling as a Panthers fan. And I feel honored. I feel privileged to be able to help. You know, maybe it's coincidence. Maybe not. You tell me. This is 2 years now. They're not going to reach out to us directly. So, and confirm that. If they do, it'll be off camera. But it'd be really, really freaking cool if they did, but, you know, I'm not expecting that. I'd be excited if they did. If I got a phone call from Charlotte and it happened to be them and I'm just like, what? You know? Like, and my whole thing is, like, if you are correct that many times, that's not coincidence. We're going to get noticed at some point down the line. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because other teams can sneak in there too and figure us out too, you know, because we have scouts from other teams checking out our channel. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing yet. But if we get offered some type of opportunity, shoot, you better believe me and my whole team are going. It ain't just going to be me. It's going to be my whole team going up to Charlotte. You know. And I'm going to document as much as I can. You know, that they'll allow me to document. For you. Of course. And I'll keep confidential whatever they want me to keep confidential. Out of respect for them. You know, and out of respect for contracts and stuff like that. You know. But if I get an opportunity, I'm taking it. I'm not even going to hold you. I'm taking it. I will. I would love to live up, you know, near Charlotte and have that opportunity. It'd be an honor to work for Tepper and his crew. You know, I still have mixed feelings about Mr. Tepper, but I like his wife, you know. His wife's really sweet, and they're great people, and, you know, regardless of Mr. Tepper's decision making, you know, when it comes to certain things, they are really, really great people. And it would be an honor to work for them. It honestly would. And I wanted to make sure that was on camera and documented, you know, in case I did get that opportunity. And That's how I really feel about it. You know, you guys know I don't lie. I'll tell the truth, man. I'm honest, I'm kind, and I'm generous. So, and additionally, it would be a privilege to work with the community up there, too. You know what I mean? So, it's all up to y'all, you know? I would love to at least meet the team that's working on our draft picks and stuff like that. You know, I'm probably not going to ask too many questions on camera, you know, so most of my questions will be off camera for them, you know, because I've got a list, of course. But, you know, it would be an honor and a privilege for sure. But continue on with what they were saying. The value of Princely, Trevor Etienne, and Wathan cannot be overstated. They made it a point 2 or 3 times in that video to point these players out. Specifically. Did y'all notice that? Look at the body language. Look at the context of how they were saying that stuff. I look at all of that and I just say, great job. Great freaking job. You guys are killing it right now. And I'm excited to see these players on the field. I'm absolutely excited. And Tech got his little space next to Bryce Young, which was really cool in the locker room. I love that. You know? So, and I love that he was the first Samoan to get drafted by us, which was really cool. You know, respect to the heritage. That's really cool. And I agree with Ted. I hope many more follow. You know, if they're successful and they put in the work, they will reap the rewards of it. What else did I catch out of that? Yeah, the fact that KC was involved in conversations bothers me. That bothers me a lot. Pretty much already said my piece about this throughout the streams, but I'm gonna go ahead and touch on it briefly one more time. If you allow KC to get one of our players on our board, that could be the difference between them sitting in the AFC Championship chair and a Super Bowl ring. Make no mistake about it. These are talented players that Dan and Dave are checking out right here. And if we get these players, that's the difference between us sitting at 5 wins and making the playoffs this year. Think about that. Let that sink in. Let that settle. That's why I'm very, very happy that KC trade offer fell through. If there was one. We do not need to get them any more weapons. They've got enough. They've got more than enough. They've had more than enough. And that's due to them building correctly. Which, and honestly, and fairly. They've never abused the process. They've never done anything like that, to cause people to go, oh, hey, they're cheating the system, this, that, and the third. No. No. Now, the referees, that's another matter. But you're talking about the draft? No. Never once did they screw over the draft process. They're building naturally through the draft. So if any of that comes back to haunt us, we're cooked the next time we play KC. I'm trying to tell y'all right now, we are straight up cooked if they get one of our players. But times are changing in Carolina. We came very close to beating the Chiefs. We came very close to beating the Eagles last year. Times are changing. And we gave both of these teams a heck of a wake-up call. And we reminded them, yeah, we're on the move. It may not be this year. It may not be 2025. But we are on the move. And I'm trying to tell you right now, once they found that out, that put the fear of God in them. And they started playing like madmen after that. Y'all notice that? We are either the team that gives teams hope for the playoffs or completely ruins it. There is no in between. Because whenever they play us, they either get on a humongous win streak or they choke right after. We kill them. And the second one happened in 2015. '14 and 15, and we're back on that path again. So y'all better watch out. If you're watching this and you're from a different team, watch out. I'm trying to tell y'all right now. Do not overlook us on your schedule. If you do, that is on you. Falcons, I'm talking to you. Because we coming after that. We coming after them Dirty Birds this year, man. I'm trying to tell you. We took that loss at home personally last year. We came into that dome and we whooped y'all's butts too. So, you know what? I got a feeling this is the start of a beautiful rivalry. Y'all feel that coming too? I feel, ooh boy. If the Falcons ever get themselves back together, man. This is going to be a real interesting rivalry in the next 3 years. The only difference is we actually put money into our offensive line. They don't. That's what's going to give us the division crown for 3 years. Mark my words on it, because Tampa Bay is starting to decline. They're starting to get older. The Saints are a joke right now because they're having to deal with cap hell. And the Falcons are still building. We're still building. And we're a lot closer to that crown than they are at the moment. So when we play them this year, they're going to find out exactly how much closer. It depends on the injuries, and the matchups. But I feel like we are that a little bit closer to that division crown than they are. But let's not overlook Tampa Bay's influence right now. Tampa Bay has been winning the division crown for the past 2 years. One of those was Tom Brady. The other one was just Tampa being Tampa. With Baker Mayfield down there. So, let's not pretend like Tampa doesn't have the talent to contend too. So, until that talent starts fading away in Tampa, it's going to be a three-way battle. So we're going to have to go full force, In the words of Metallica, we're going to have to go Lux Eterna on it. Full speed or nothing. Y'all knew I had to throw a Metallica reference in here somewhere. You know I had to. But yeah. I feel like that's what it's going to take for the next 2 years. And then it'll be ours. We'll just keep playing like we were for the past 2 to 3 years. You know what I mean? And just keep taking the division over and over and over again. And at that point, it'll look like the New England Patriots, with taking it by iron fists, But we got to keep playing like we're playing the competitive teams, you know what I mean? We got to keep acting like at any point these guys could upset us, for that crown. So that's what it's going to take. If you somehow maintain that mentality and that skill level, then you're going to succeed. And there's a certain challenge in that too. I was watching an interview with Dabo Swinney and Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick asked Dabo, about bring your own guts. And I love the fact that he did ask that question. Because Dabo basically still has something to teach the old GOAT, man. Because Dabo said, look, man, ain't nobody going to bring your guts for you. You got to come to these games, you got to bring your own guts. You got to come out there, you got to play 100%. Ain't nobody going to do it for you. And I'm like, that's my freaking Clemson coach, baby. That's my Clemson coach. And the fact that we've got a wide receiver from there, oh, man, I can't even tell you how much good that's going to do for our locker room. Not only that, on the field and in the community too. Because those types of players and those people are just one of a kind. They really are. And we got the brother of one of them as our running back now. That's 2. I count that as 2. And then you count the one that we had on the defensive line too. That's 3. That's 3. Great players developed by a university that focuses on character development as well as physical development. Yeah, you can get strong, big players all you want from Ohio State and Georgia and all them, but are you getting character out of these players? Are you getting people that really care about the people around them and enough about themselves not to get themselves in trouble constantly outside of football? That's the difference. And that's what the Panthers pride themselves on. We have a reputation for that. And we've been keeping that reputation going. Which was another talking point that Dave was bringing up. You know, his character. When he was looking for rookies, he was looking for character. Exactly. As we should be. We should be maintaining that. So, as we start to get inside the head of these coaches and GMs and people like that, you know, you start to learn more about their mindsets, what they want to accomplish, what they feel is right. You know, it's not just analytics. It's some of this is gut feel. When you go into a draft, you're just like, okay, well, we're looking at the patterns of how these guys are falling off the board, and we just go, my gut says go for this player that's on our board. Make the push now. You know, should we wait or should we make the push now to trade up or trade down? And the mentality and the gut feel is interesting to me. It's fascinating. It's like playing poker in a way. If you guys have ever played Texas Hold'em, you guys kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Because certain hands work better with certain stuff. You know, we played poker on this channel before. You know, the video game version, of course, but the point remains the same. You have to go with your gut sometimes. You have to take chances, roll the dice, and just hope things fall the way they should. And that's exactly what they did with Trevor Etienne. Is they just hoped he would still be there. Same thing with Brady Christensen, same thing with Cade Mays. They were hoping these guys would still be there. And it worked. So, I mean, we saw those two offensive linemen have panned out. So, in retrospect, the decision making was spot on. I have zero problem with any of the decision making. And there's a lot of people out there, you know, that are YouTube creators that would be like, well, I would have done this instead. I would have done that instead. You know, and how many times do you ever hear me say that the decision making is spot on and I would not change a thing? This is that kind of draft. Post-draft, I would not have changed a thing. That says a lot right there. That says a lot. David Screw says, great content creator right here. Goes above and beyond to get the content out. Facts, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm trying my best. And I said, I'm getting this reaction out there. One way or another. If it's in bits and pieces, then it's in bits and pieces. But it's getting out there. I'm determined tonight. This is important. You know what I mean? For for this franchise. To get this analysis. And the fan base to get this analysis. And this Keep Pounding family to get this analysis. Because I wanted y'all to understand where my mindset is when I'm watching this stuff. Because it fascinates me hearing these conversations, during draft days. Where were their brains at when they made these decisions? What was their gut feeling? What was being discussed? What was their body language? How did they feel about every one of these picks and these players that were being talked about? I love this kind of stuff. God, I love picking their brains. I love it. Love the analytical part of the team, the probabilities of the player being there. Awesome blueprint. Love our staff. Yeah, did y'all catch some of the percentages that this man spat out? I was like, bruh. The chance of Princely still being there 50-50? Say what? And when you're watching the draft, you're thinking, okay, 75-25. Because we've only seen 2 defensive ends come off the board, before Nick Skirton came out. Got picked. But then you see the Titans afterwards picking a defensive end, and you go, oh, that's why the percentage is what it was. That's why it was 47%, or that's why it was 50-50. Now it makes sense. Looking at all the pieces on the board. Instead of just, what they said in the video. You have to look at all the pieces on the board. And I commend everybody that's doing that along with me. Because that's not easy to do. For some people, it's not as easy to do that. They see some certain things and they go, okay, tunnel vision. This is what I want to focus on. And I respect that. Not everybody's wired the same. You just don't want to stay there too long. But been years since you said that? Yeah, for real. For sure. And the draft felt like a mastermind plan. I'm serious. Yeah, true. True. This is 2 years of this, man. 2 years of a blueprint that is starting to be created into this beautiful Mona Lisa, of a team. And every year you're seeing more and more added to it. And it really is something. I look back at 2013 and 14 and I said, you know what? I'm going to sit back and just enjoy the process. You know what I mean? That it took to get us there. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm enjoying the process. Because it really does feel like a gigantic chessboard. And we're winning. You know what I mean? We're putting the pieces in the right places. We're getting the right pieces that we need. And we're making all the right moves for once to create something. The process early on is just fascinating to me. It's thrilling. It's like an adrenaline ride. You know? It's like a roller coaster at Universal, you know what I mean? It's like you're building up to the top of the roller coaster. And just the excitement just builds as you go. That's what it feels like to me. That's what it felt like when Luke shut down Peyton Manning with all of his audibles. It was just like the more he did it, the more fascinated I became. And the more obsessed I became with watching him. That entire first half of that Super Bowl 50. And I was just like, nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. All they want to talk about is the Cam fumble and all the other stuff. I want to talk about Luke Kuechly in Super Bowl 50. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about we need to put this man's brain to work in Carolina somehow on this coaching staff. Because the more time you waste, the less chance of that happening. Oh my God. It's incredible. Skirting, Princely, Cam Jackson, Ransom, plus the free agents we got on defense. Holy smokes. And the offense got better. We're going to get a cornerback in free agency. I feel it. Yeah. People can say what they want about the Clowney cut, but at the end of the day, it made sense. It made sense. Like, sacks are not the only stat that you should be focused on with defensive ends. If that's all you're focused on, you're tunnel visioning. I'm just calling it like it is. You're tunnel visioning. Because there's pass deflections, there's tackles, there's at times interceptions. I've seen it happen. So, you know, and the stuff they don't talk about is, you know, how much of a bull rush you have as a defensive end. That's an underrated stat. You know, how quick is your bull rush? I mean, listen to me talking like an NFL scout right now. It's crazy. You know, because I happen to know a good bit about this stuff. You know, even though I haven't played the game. But I study it like I have. You know what I mean? So, for anybody that is saying, oh, why haven't you played? You know, haven't you been on a team or whatever? No, I haven't. I study it like Luke Kuechly does. You know? And, well, not necessarily Luke Kuechly, but, you know, I study it like an NFL player. You know, I see everything. So, and I study it as a businessman. Because that's what I am. So I see both sides of the coin here. You know. But yeah, we're gonna use that $7 million on a corner. I think Asante Samuel Jr. is the right fit. I'm just being real with y'all. He's young. He fits our system. He does what you ask him to do. His stats line up. If you want to go with an older veteran, go Stephon Gilmore. But honestly, I'd advise against it. You know, he's old now. He's lost a step. But he's still him. You know what I mean? Like, if you need him to fill in, he'll fill in. But Yeah. Our D-line looks very rusty, very nasty this year. I would be scared to go against that rush. Our D-line is strong. I'm not sure if it's solidified yet. We'll know that after training camp. You know what I mean? We'll know that after the cuts are made. And then I'll be able to either confirm or deny that statement right there. Because at the moment, I'm not 100% convinced of it until I see these players, doing some of the training camp drills. And in particular, the 11-on-11s, versus the Texans and versus the Browns. When we have joint practices. And that's an excellent opportunity to, show what you learned, throughout the week. And I applaud Dan Morgan and Dave Canales for pushing that. That's an excellent thing that he's doing. I absolutely love it. Let's have joint practices where all their preseason games every year. Yes, even if it's just one, I'll take it. If that's all they're willing to do, I'll take it. If they're willing to do two, awesome. I don't think you push it past two, but I absolutely applaud Dave Canales for that. Excellent, excellent, excellent idea. Yes. I applaud that and I approve 100%. These guys need to show off what they learn. David Screw says, yes, Luke shut Peyton down in the Super Bowl. No passing touchdowns. Facts, Matt. No passing touchdowns during the entire first half. I've never seen Peyton sweat. Okay? I've watched Peyton Manning for 12 years before he retired. I've never seen that man sweat in a game. The only people I've ever seen make that man sweat was Troy Polamalu, Brian Urlacher, and Luke Kuechly. And at that point, Luke Kuechly scared the living crap out of him because he took away 3/4 of his entire audible playbook that he made a career on for 15 years. That's not a small feat, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to go out, that's the way to do it. I'm going to try to tell you that right now. Luke, hats off to you, bro. If you don't make the freaking Hall of Fame, you can hang your hat on that right there by itself. That alone makes you worthy of the Hall of Fame, if nothing else. Shoot, you asked me, I'll vouch for that. I will 100% vouch for that. That's incredible. No one else has been able to do that, not even Troy. And Troy is within 5 yards of every single play, wherever that ball is. I've never seen a safety pull that off either. Never will again, probably. I still can't figure out how the heck he did that. That's not just film study. That's natural instinct. That's speed. That's athleticism. Like, you can't teach this stuff. So... And now I'm seeing a linebacker in our linebacker depth chart that's starting to display some of those qualities that Troy Polamalu displayed. And I'm like, whoa. Say what now? It got my attention immediately. Full attention. So, it's going to take development on Novella. And we'll see, time will tell. Time will tell. But I would love to see this man make the 53 and just climb the ladder. I would love to see it. And he's the only coverage linebacker I've seen in the entire squad. Which we need. Just saying. Making my case. Y'all do what you want with that info. Oh, you're just going by what Dan was saying? Dude, the entire game, no touchdowns. And I mean, yeah. The entire game, no touchdowns. Passing wise. Like, he forced Denver to find other ways to beat us. That's a player, man. God, I wish we had a playmaker like that again. Oh, my God, I wish we had one of those. Maybe one day. But, yeah, I look around at this team and what we built. And I echo what Dan said. You get out of it what you put in. If you put in the work, you'll get the results. If you don't, you won't. It's that simple. And that goes for the entire organization. From top to bottom. You put in the work, you get the results. If you don't, you won't. That's a... Man. God, that's a cold statement from Dan. That's cold. That's freaking cold. That hits like a truck. For me, at least. I don't know about y'all, but that hits me like a truck. Because whenever people say stuff like that, it doesn't just apply to the football players. It doesn't just apply to whatever that is. It applies to everybody. It's a life lesson. Y'all get what I mean? Like, you get out of life what you put in. Period. And yeah, we all got some stuff to work on, man. But, at the end of the day, you get out of it what you put in. I think that there's a lot to take away from this blueprint video here. I think there is. And I love deep diving these, man, because, oh man, to get into the head of some of these guys is just, it's new, it's fresh, it's raw, and it's unapologetically them. You know what I mean? He isn't wrong, though. You have to put in the work. He said in the blueprint, he is here to make the team better and win football games. And not only is he saying it, he's doing it. I love Brant Tillis, too. Yeah, Brent Tiller's got a lot of footage in here. And I loved everything he was saying, too. You know, I man, here's a guy that actually understands the draft. Okay? This man understands the draft. He says there is no second chance. You have to get it right the first time, or you miss your player. Period. Period. It's not a situation where, oh, well, we missed our player. Let's try again tomorrow. Nope. Nope. When you hit draft weekend, that's it. One and done. You either hit it or you miss it. If you miss that target, sucks to be you. But you did that to yourself because, once again, what did Dave just say? Or was it Dan Morgan? I think it was Dan Morgan. You put in what you get out of it. You get out of it what you put in. So if you don't put in the work and you don't research this stuff properly, Jets, I'm talking to you, then you're not going to get the players that you want. Period. It's that simple. You know, anybody can get lucky and hit on a player once in a while, you know, with the draft. But to hit the target on 2, 3, 4, 5 players, you know, during an entire draft, that's your scouting department and your management doing their proper due diligence. And that's exactly what we did for 2 drafts now. Tell me I'm wrong. Prove to me how I'm wrong. Because right now you can't. Name one of those players besides the one we let go last year. You're always going to have one bust in every draft class. But name one guy out of the ones besides the one that got let go that didn't have some type of an impact somewhere on our roster. Name one from last year's draft class. And it's about to happen again. Y'all, it's about to happen again. Yeah, David, I'm glad you brought that up. Dan said everyone says draft is stressful. He says not to him. He says it's fun. Probably because he puts in the work. Exactly. Yeah, I pointed that out too. I said that too. It's fun when you actually get these picks correct, you know, and the board follows your direction. You know, that's basically saying, you know, okay, we put in all the work that we could possibly put in. Now we just see what happens. Let's see if all this work is worth it or not. And I agree with Dan. Completely on this. I felt the same way every draft, you know, that Dan and Dave have been running here, which is 2 of them now. It felt fun to me. It felt like the Super Bowl for us. You know what I mean? It felt like our version of the Super Bowl because of what we're building. And I know that it's a terrible comparison, really, but honestly, that's what it feels like. It feels like a gigantic chess match. And to know that we are winning that chess match consistently, year after year after year after year, and getting exactly what we need. Not just drafting best player available, but drafting what we need at those positions. That speaks volumes about what we're doing here. It's making a difference. Sorry I left for a bit and watched the Blueprint and came back. Yeah, good. Did you catch anything new when you watched it the second or third time through? I'd be interested to know that, you know. You know, it's like watching a Disney movie. Sometimes you watch it like 4, 5, 6 times and you notice something new every time. At least that's how it feels for me anyway. Watching some of these videos back. Heck, I've spent a few hours sometimes just watching some of the old videos and stuff from like 4, 5, 6 years ago. You never know what you're going to find, right? There's always some type of nugget to be gleaned off of these videos. Always. No matter how far back you go. And also, big shout out to the media team in the Panthers, you know, for taking that time to show off YouTubers' reactions to this. And putting that in the Blueprint. God, that's beautiful. The day is here where we are finally getting respected as content creators, you know, for our work and the communities that we are building. The day is here. We're all connected in some way, you know, and even though our stream wasn't in that collage, I still feel privileged and honored, you know, that I support some of these other streamers that were in there, and I recognized a few of them. Because I've been in their streams and I've talked to a couple of them, you know, so, and met them in person. So, it means everything to me. Panthers management, everything. That y'all are representing us and showing us that love. And man, wow. I've been waiting for this day for a while. I have. And Dave Canoa says he doesn't watch this stuff, you know. But people pass him stuff, man, it would be an honor if some of our stuff got passed to him. And he liked it, you know. It would be an honor. You know. I know you don't want to publicly acknowledge us, and that's fine. I'm not looking for that. A lot of other YouTubers are looking for attention. They're looking for validation. I'm not looking for that. I want you to just show love. That's all. You know. Just hint the fact that you've been watching us in some way. You know. And, you know. Trust me, I'll get the hint. I'll get it. And me and my team will discuss it, you know, and we'll enjoy it, you know. We'll enjoy it privately off camera, and I'll say something briefly on camera, you know, but that'll be it, you know what I mean? Because I'm humble about that stuff, you know what I mean? I'm not egotistical when it comes to that. But, you know, it'll be just a brief message, you know, saying, you know, we're proud of what we created and did, you know, and we're honored and privileged that you paid attention to us, you know, even for just a few minutes. It means everything to me. Everything. Because that's what we're setting out to do, you know, we're setting out to help you, you know, and if we can do that in some way, I'm honored. I'm honored. Good sir. Because you're bringing us all hope. You're bringing us all happiness and entertainment, you know, and joy. You know, if we can give back to that in some way to this franchise, it's an honor to do so. You know, if we can help you guys improve with our advice in any way, we're honored to do so. And, you know, and I'll vouch for you guys too. I'll vouch for you guys right now. If anybody thinks this man is lying right now for the wrong reasons, stop. Stop the false propaganda. This dude is honest with you. And he's been honest the entire time. And if you can't see that, you got tunnel vision. You're only seeing what you want to see. That's on you. That ain't on us. That's on you. So, I don't want to hear from the peanut gallery when we start winning. I don't want to hear it. I'm trying to tell y'all. I know exactly who's going to say something and who isn't. I watch everybody, man. I watch everybody. I ain't gonna say no names. I ain't gonna say what I observed. Unless it becomes necessary. If it goes against the quality of what we're trying to do, then I will say something. I'm bold enough to do it. But, you know, if it doesn't, I ain't gonna say nothing. Do what you do. You know, and I respect the hustle, man. Everybody on YouTube trying to make some money, you know, I respect it. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Do what makes you successful. There is no right or wrong way to do this. You know, as long as you're not being toxic and racist and all that, you know, then there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. I don't see anything wrong with it. Y'all know what not to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's 2025. Everybody knows what not to do at this point. So as long as you're doing the stuff that you should be doing, ain't nobody gonna have a problem with you. Unless you create one for yourselves. In which case, not my circus, not my monkeys. I ain't in it. And I straight up said that on Big Cat Stream too. And a couple of other ones. I said, if y'all have your own circus drama, I ain't in it. I'm only focused on my stuff and what I'm doing. You know, and nobody's trying to drag me into it either. So thank you. Thank you for not trying to. You know, we want to stay in our lane. You know what I mean? That's not our problem. That's not our business. So we stay strictly on the content and we stay there. You know what I mean? And I like that. I like it just how it is right now. How we built this community. It's beautiful, man. You know, all 632 of you, man, that are subscribed to this channel. Thank you so much, man. It means everything to me. You didn't have to stick around. You didn't have to stay with us. You know, but you did. You know, that's loyalty right there. That's loyalty and that's love. And that means something to me, man. So to every single one of you, including AJ Marshall, who just subscribed about 18 days ago, man. Thank you so much, man. Welcome to the family. Man, that means everything to me. Y'all are real. You know, and you can tell the real people from the ones that aren't. And I want to say, thank you so much. And same to the 14,000 members that we got on Facebook, man. I know some of y'all came over here, you know, when I post about these streams. You know, y'all come over here and you follow the link, and I appreciate y'all. Even for those that don't follow the link, I know we got a bunch of bots over there too. We got some bots in YouTube too, but you know, minus all the bots, man. Man, it's a privilege and an honor to do what I do for you. It's a privilege and an honor. And I don't take it lightly. I never take this platform lightly. Because words matter, man. Words matter. I'm out here trying to change things, make things better, man. Then I found it. That's all I'm trying to do. We all need to reach out to Tepper somehow and sign a petition to change that AstroTurf back to grass, man. Facts! God dang, is that fact. Man. Oh, shoot. Y'all know just what to put in the chat to rile me up, man. I love y'all. I love y'all, man. This is stream number 100 of me mentioning that Tepper needs to get his head out of his butt and change that turf back to grass. Thank you. You're killing our players, man. Oh, God, man. And the thing is, man, I do recognize y'all want to do, like, concerts and stuff like that, like the Metallica concert and everything, you know. And, yes, it does open up the door for that opportunity. You know, to have like the stages and everything else. Okay, cool. But you got how many other successful venues in Charlotte? And this man's going to act like, oh, I'm saving music in Charlotte. Bro, no, you're not. Be honest about it, man. That's all I'm asking you to do. Like, what you did was you allowed your stadium to host stadium type shows. That's what you're doing. Like, can we be honest about this, please? Like, show me you have zero knowledge on hosting events without showing me you have zero knowledge on hosting events. Like, the amount of people that come to training camp every year is much more than the seats in capacity you put into Charlotte's training campground. It's at least 2,000 more. Whoever is running these events, man, please, please fire him. If it's Tepper himself, then there's nothing we can do. Because Tepper just, he has to get his hands dirty. He has to get his hands in everything. He has to put his hands in the cookie jar. That's just who he is. That's not ever going to change. He's got to have his hands in some type of project when it comes to this team or the soccer team or something, having to do with Charlotte. So, I do want to caution everybody in Charlotte about that, because if he hasn't tampered with your situation yet, he will. And yes, I'm talking about the stadium upgrades, because this man has now asked the city of Charlotte for $635 million, which he didn't need. Which updated the entertainment tax to $100 more for people in Charlotte. Yes, $100 more. That's not a joke. Go look it up. And what pisses me off about that is, yes, it's being done in all major cities. That's an excuse. That's an excuse at this point. You got people living paycheck to paycheck that aren't even fans of the Panthers or football whatsoever in general. Some of them don't even go to concerts. Yeah, absolutely there should be an entertainment tax, by all means. But do you need it to be raised $100 just to build an upgraded stadium that shouldn't even be upgraded to begin with, to look like a soccer stadium in Europe that we don't need? Like, tell me you care about the soccer team more than a football team right now without telling me. So, don't even get me started about this stupid bar that you want to put up there in the upper bowl. Don't even get me started on that. But the fact that it's $100 more, though. Come on, man. People are living paycheck to paycheck in major cities, and you just put a bunch of people out of homes, bro. That's the difference between people questioning whether they should pay the light bill or the gas bill this month. One or the other is going to get cut off because you raised that entertainment tax. It cost them that extra $100 that would have helped them to pay for both. That hurts people that are trying to pay rent and living paycheck to paycheck. Do you not understand this, Tepper? You have screwed up the economy of Charlotte. You're screwing with the economy, bro. Did that not even process in your brain before you made that decision? Oh, I've got billions of dollars. I can do whatever I want because I'm acting like Donald Trump. Like, come on, bro. Think before you make decisions, please. That's all I'm asking you to do. God. Think. Because you screwed over Spartanburg, you screwed over Rock Hill, and now you're screwing over Charlotte. What's next? You know what? Please go to California and screw up California because California deserves to be screwed up. It's already screwed up enough already. Why don't you just go over there and mess it up further? Anyway, my point being that there's a lot of positives and a lot of negatives, you know, under his ownership, but I'm going to choose to focus on the positives right now. Yes, your entertainment company did get Metallica to come to Charlotte. That's not an easy feat. From what I understand, it takes them 5 days to set up the entire gear. Bare minimum. In between shows. That's no joke, man. And for what I know about musicians and concerts and stuff, it's a big setup. You know, so much respect to Tepper's company, you know, for booking them and managing to get everything to happen as smoothly as it did. Because when you're dealing with a band like Metallica, their crew makes sure that everything is just they're very detail oriented, from what I've noticed. And every one of their shows moves smoothly. It's the entertainment business, you know, of course they're going to make sure that they've got the best people out there. But the fact that Tepper's people that were running that event did everything to the best of their ability and above and beyond. Very impressive. Hats off to all of you. Because he really pushed the envelope with this one. People had to do extra things that they normally wouldn't have had to do. And, you know, that's big, man. When you're doing with a crowd of 73,000, that's no joke, man. That's no joke. I've seen major festivals that run with crowds like that. You know what I mean? And some of them, it does not go smoothly at all. You know, so I want to say how much I respect the crew and how well they worked, you know, to make things happen. To make that a success. Am I interested in us hosting bands and concerts like that in Boa? Of course, yes. Now that we've proven that we can do that with a crowd of 73,000, we can do that with anybody that does stadium tours. We're probably not going to sell out, but, you know, next time. But we knew that Metallica would sell out. And of course, there is one issue that I did encounter, but I'm not going to mention it. I'll mention it to my buddy David, you know, privately, but I'm not going to mention it on stream. And I think he already knows what it is. But if I mention it, you know, on stream, it's going to cause the staff to actually do something, you know. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut about it for now. But yes. If we're going to host that many people again, then that needs to be discussed. But what I will mention is that you could still book bands like that by just removing the grass, you know, or rolling it out like Arizona does, you know, with their stadium. That's turf, isn't it? I think that's turf. Yeah, they got turf. But maybe you'd have like a a rolling platform that could push the grass outside of the stadium, you know, during concerts and stuff like that. I don't know. Just a thought. I don't know what you would want to do with Boa, though. It's a different animal. You know, without changing the entire layout of the stadium, you know, on one side, it would just be... I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I know that something needs to happen to where the players are playing on grass. And if it's that easy to replace turf, you know, and take it out, you know, for concerts and stuff, why is it not just a little harder just to take out grass and put it back in when you're ready? I don't see the difficulty. But, again, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know. I'll leave that to much smarter people than me in that area. But honestly, you know, it's a great feeling to have the same conversations as these gentlemen. And to know that these players that we have chosen in our mocks are the same ones that they just drafted. I did want to cycle back around to that. Just briefly. Like, there's no way. Oh, man. It blows my mind. It literally blows my mind. And it tells me that this website that we found is displaying all the correct information that we need to know. And I forget what it was. NFL Draft Plus, was it? Yeah. Excellent site. So, the fact that they are displaying all this information in such an accurate way makes it so much easier for us to figure stuff out. You know, it's an excellent tool in our tool belt. And I do encourage y'all to keep it free, please. Please keep it free for as long as humanly possible. Because the amount of times me and my entire team referred back to this is ridiculous this year. And still are, technically. Even a month after the draft, we still are. But, yeah. This is going to be a great draft class. We got it right. If there was ever an opportunity for us to screw up this whole process, it would have been this offseason. And we didn't. We stayed on the train. And I'm proud of this management for having the audacity to stay on the train and having the spine and the backbone to see it through. And continuing and doubling down on what they're saying and doing. You know, Not backtracking, not admitting that they lied about this or that, no. Not coming up with excuses, no. They doubled down on doing the right thing with this organization. And if this continues, this may be the best duo we have ever had in Carolina. Dare I say it. They may even be better than Gettleman and Ron Rivera. Combo wise. I'm starting to believe it. Help me to continue to believe that. Help me to help you, is what I'm saying. If you continue to convince me, I'm 100% on board. I'm not going anywhere. And neither is my buddy David here in chat. We are totally committed to you and what you're doing. And it amazes me how many people are starting to see the vision. They're starting to wake up from their tunnel vision and see what's going on. And they're like, whoa. Maybe there's more to this than we thought. Maybe there's a lot more elements to these situations than we thought. Maybe there's a lot more for us to learn than we thought. Maybe there's certain glimmers of hope for this organization going forward. And I gotta tell you, man. What did I say when Dave Canales got hired? The last time I felt that type of energy from a head coach was Dabo Swinney. Coaching one of my favorite teams. And look what happened with Dabo. Look what he is still doing. And I use the word still because look at the success. People, you got to understand where Clemson came from. They were just like the Panthers when they first started out. Nobody respected them. We were barely making bowl games. Tommy Bowden was just Tommy Bowden. You know what I mean? And, you know, I love Tommy. Don't get me wrong. But he was not the right choice. Clearly. And we struggled. We faced South Carolina and we got our butts kicked several times. You know, and those tickets were the most highly valued tickets out there. I mean, people were paying like $150 a piece, like as much as an NFL ticket back then. I was like, whoa. You know, that was like our Super Bowl back then for Clemson. You know, that was like our national championship when we faced them. So, you know, putting that into perspective. And then when Dabo got hired, I cannot explain the energy I felt the moment that man took the head coaching job. But I just knew. I knew that we were going to start winning championships. I knew that we were just going to start winning. And I felt that when Dave Canales took over. Tell me some of y'all didn't feel that too. And Clemson was one of the most disrespected colleges in the ACC at the time before Dabo took over. Nobody respected us. You know, we were losing games to Wake Forest. We were losing games to Boston College, NC State. It was bad. It was bad. And, you know, it did take Dabo a year, you know, to get his feet wet and get settled. And that's what it's going to take for Dave Canales. It's taken him a year to get his feet wet. But now that he has, big things are coming. This is it. This is the moment. Now, my question is, like, are we going to have one of those types of games like Clemson had against West Virginia in a bowl game where we lost by like 50 points? And it was our wake-up call to, and I don't know if there's a better way to put this, get our heads out of our asses and get them in gear. Because it was horrendous and completely unacceptable that we lost. It was embarrassing that we lost by that many points. It was like a basketball score. And West Virginia had not shown previously that they had that kind of offense. I want y'all to keep that in mind. Yes, they had a powerful team at the time, but they were not showing that type of audacity until that bowl game. I don't know what pissed them off that day, but you know what? I'll say this, though. It was the best thing to happen to my Tigers because we didn't lose a single game after that point for a long time. It pissed us off and it woke up a fire in that team like I've never seen in recent years. And I don't know if have the Panthers ever encountered a game like that before? Like, it got me thinking, you know what I mean? Like, in the past, like, few months, I've been thinking about that heavily. You know? As far as, like, Panthers-related stuff. I got a bunch on my mind outside of that, of course, but that was always in the back of my mind, like, have we ever encountered something like that? Where it's like that West Virginia game? Like, I don't know. And then my next question is, do we want to encounter that? You know, and have that be what pisses us off. And from that point on, we don't stop losing. We don't stop winning. I mean, from that point on. And under Dave Canales and Dan, we just keep winning and winning and winning. Until we're considered the KC Chiefs, you know, of the NFL. Because, I mean, let's put this into perspective. Clemson has pretty much played everybody that's big name. And I know people are going to say, oh, he's biased. He's Clemson biased. This, that, and the third. I'm getting to a point here. You know, I've got a point to what I'm saying. I'm making comparisons. So, I want y'all to stop all this biased bullcrap conversation, okay? Just for a few minutes. And just let me talk. let me cook here. Because I'm on to something. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all South Carolina people, but let me cook. Alright, so to put this into perspective, Clemson has now won how many ACC titles in a row? We've won how many bowl games now? We've pretty much beaten every major power in the NCAA in the past 20 to 30 years, including Bama twice. You know, there's maybe like 5 teams left that were major powers that we have not played yet or beaten yet. Notre Dame is one of them. We got to take down Notre Dame next time. And Texas. Not Notre Dame, but Texas. Texas was who I was thinking of. We have never played Texas before that bowl game. That playoff game. That's why I made a point to cover that on the channel, because I wanted to react to that. That's historical, you know. I understand that this channel isn't really that big on Clemson stuff, and that's fine, you know. But I did that for y'all that really did care about that. You know what I mean? And are as passionate as I am about that. Yeah, we lost our first meeting, but what's going to happen the next 2 times that we play them? We're adding another team to the graveyard. I'm telling y'all right now. It's going to happen. Whether it be next year or the year after, it's going to happen. When that happens depends on when we beat them and play them again. But the point is, we're going to be knocking another one off the list. And that list is getting smaller and smaller and smaller by the year. And that's exactly what I want the Panthers to become. I want us to become that. I've got a vision for this franchise. Dan and Dave see it too. And they are working their butts off to make that happen. So does Brant Tillis. Why do you think Brant Tillis left a 3 Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs team? How many Super Bowls and championships does KC have total over their years? I mean, you got a historical team that was actually in one of the first 5 Super Bowls when the league was first formed. That's a historic team right there. You know what I mean? Like, that's a historical franchise. So, just to put that into perspective, you went from a team like that to the Carolina Panthers, who were the worst team in 4 different sports. Like, what was it that convinced him to come here? I don't get it. Brant, maybe you could shed some light on this. I don't understand. Did Dan and Dave talk to you and just... like I'm trying to sell this blueprint idea to you right now? Of this roadmap? Is that what convinced you? That's fascinating, man. That's really fascinating. I'd love to know what went through your head. That right there is the ultimate chess match. It really is. That may even be more important than Luke, you know, beating Peyton Manning. But because it could grant us a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things. And we already took advantage of that by getting one of the defensive tackles from Kansas City in free agency. We convinced him to sign here because of Brand. So, we're already making moves. But, yeah. I don't know how y'all feel about all this, man, but I'm excited. It's the first time in years I've been excited to be a Panthers fan. I'm hyped. This has got me amped. Real talk, man. I'm ready to see some games. I'm ready to see these boys in action. We got 2 months. They can't go fast enough for me. I'm trying to tell you right now, they cannot. We are so very close to getting this done. So very close. We need one more off season. I feel like we need one more. Maybe 2. It depends. Until we finish out this roster and we upgrade to the point where KC is right now. But I'll tell you what, offseason year 3, that's when it gets fun. Because that's when you start adding depth. And that's exactly what happened in the offseason right before that 2015 season. Oh my God. The masterpiece that was that 15 team, man. I'm telling you. It was glorious. And each and every one of y'all is welcome to sign anything Super Bowl 50 related that I have. Each and every one of you that was part of that team. I don't care if you were even just a placeholder. I don't care. You are welcome. That was a heck of a freaking unit. I don't think we'll ever hit that again. But we can come incredibly close if we keep pushing the way we are. That was, man, what a crew. What a freaking crew. Oh, man. Y'all see this? Y'all see this right here? Yeah. That's right. That's right. Y'all do what you did. You've earned it. You've earned me having something signed by you in my collection. And once I get my new office set up, man, it's going to be a highlight of my freaking collection, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Because I got the trio. I got Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, and Greg Olsen now. All 3 of them are going to be centerpieces. Bet. Y'all earned that right. So Panthers players, if you're paying attention to this stream, here's my challenge to you. Earn it. Show me why you deserve to have something signed by you in my collection. Show me why I should pay attention to you. Show me why I should have you goated in my collection. Earn it. And it'll happen. I mean, you may not reach the level of Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, Greg Olsen, and all of them. But I'll tell you what. Yeah, y'all keep doing what you're doing. You never know. You never know. And I got a special kind of love for those types of players, man. I got a special kind of love. You know? And for the management, keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to keep buying your merch. Earn it. You want me to buy your merch? Earn it. You've been earning it. And I want to say thank you. This is my way of saying thank you right here. Super Bowl 50 hat. Bought on sale. That's my way of saying thank you. You earned that with an excellent draft. Those Panthers sneakers I bought. You earned it. By killing it in free agency and setting this team up for a dynasty. And I gotta say, man, that replica Super Bowl ring is getting a little lonely. It's getting a little lonely. Let's give it a friend. You know what I'm saying? Let's give it a brother. It's coming, y'all. You want to believe it? Jump on board. If you don't want to believe it, that's up to you. I can't tell you what to believe in and what not to believe in. But I will say this. And I'll finish with this. Dan, why don't you finish this, Dan, with your statement? If you don't put in the work, you don't get the results. If you put in the work, you get your results out of it. Thank you very much, Dan Morgan. And you are absolutely correct, sir. So, we got players working on stuff. We got working on his catching skills. We got Coker expanding his route tree. We got other stuff like that going on. You know? It's always the next level. It's always a reason to keep pushing. We're never satisfied. We're always hungry. You heard what the man said, man. Do you think he's lying? I don't. If you do, you need to get your ears checked. Because this man was speaking the truth, man. Oh. Alright, so that concludes our business with Panthers content. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about? Panthers related, or questions you wanted to ask? If so, fire away. The floor is yours, chat. Any reactions that you had to the video, anything you want to talk about, go for it. I'm sorry we weren't able to get to video games today, but that's alright. You know, Panthers content always comes first. So I may be able to sneak a game in here. We'll see. You know, I'll go till 2, maybe 2:15. I'm not gonna push too hard though, because I do need to sleep. And then we can go hard with games. You know, probably in the next couple days. We'll see what happens. You know. Probably afternoon time. We'll see. I noticed that there was a big interest in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The only reason I'm not doing that tonight is because this is starting to get into a storyline plot, you know, and it can get a little long, and I don't want to do that tonight. I want to do something that's like a wind down game. Let's do shoot. I don't want to do buckshot tonight. Yeah, I don't want to do buckshot. Let me see what I have. Excuse me. We could do some poker, I guess. I'm not really feeling the rest of this stuff right at the moment. I feel like doing something chill. Yeah, let's do that then. And then we will oh shoot. that makes all of it. No. All of it's incompatible now? Save states? Oh my god. With the update. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Man, I hope. I'll have to, screen capture. Gameplay. Yeah, there we go. Holy crap. The game capture actually got this? The emulator? Interesting. I didn't think it was going to do that. Oh no, we're good. We're good. We're good. It's still there. Cool. Everything's still saved. Cool. Okay. Game. Do I really want to do single tournament right now? Yeah. We gotta make progress, you know what I mean? I can go till 2:30, that's fine. I don't even need headphones for this. But yeah, we're moving on to gameplay. See what everybody else does. Okay, we got one person calling. I'm gonna say no. Yep, there's the raise happy people. I knew it. Eight, 9, 10, jack. So essentially, if I had a 7 or a queen show up, if I had kept my hand, I would have a straight. Dang. Okay, so that's $20 on the bet. That's not it.
I'll check.
Ooh. Now we find out who has that 9. None of them have it. Her jacks, yep. There it is. Dang, good hand. He was one away from getting a straight. Not bad. That's garbage. pair of fours they consider to be garbage. So. I'm in.
Alright, it's yours. I'm out.
Okay, Alfred the Butler. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, I'll bet this.
There's no way. You don't have a straight. There's no way. There's no way. I'm staying in one more. I'll do one more. I knew it. I knew you didn't have it. I knew it. Bet. Let's go. Told you. I knew it the moment you checked it. Second round. That was all I needed to see right there. Yep. Yup. Ooh, that's another actionable pair right there. Let's go.
That's it.
I'm in.
out.
I'm in.
Call.
I'm calling. Jack.
Okay. Guaranteed to be some kings and aces in here somewhere. Yep, there's the ace. That probably means I'm cooked.
I'm checking. Check.
I'll check.
Okay, they don't have an ace, so they probably have a king.
Check. I check.
Check it.
Well, probably has a king.
I'm checking.
And I'm waiting for that person to bet.
I check.
I'm not going to do it.
I'm
It's going to be her. No? I had muck? Okay, whatever. Yeah. See, I don't know. Okay, give me the ace. Not this time. My gut is just saying not this time.
I'll check.
I've got a bad feeling about this. And I was right.
Call.
Oh.
No.
Ooh.
I'm gonna raise.
I'll call you.
Wow.
Check it.
Wow.
Hold.
495 on that one. Told you. Mm-mm. it comes to poker, always trust your gut. Not this time.
Here's a little more.
Yep, knew it. Comes to raise happy people.
Here's a little more.
Ooh.
Oh, I'll call.
Yeah, I'll let y'all have some fun. Go ahead. Yup.
I'm checking. Bet. Call. Check. Let's get this started. I'll bet. Hold.
Alright. It's starting to get interesting now. I haven't seen a 10 in a while, but I'm not feeling it.
Let's add some spice, shall we? Rose.
Now with all this raising going on, definitely not feeling it.
I'm going to bet.
Ace 2, 3, 4. I would have had
I'll call.
if that 5 shows up. Please don't show up.
I'll check. I'll stick around. Call.
That's a straight. I would have had a straight.
Check.
And 3 of a kind.
Call.
God dang. And all you had was just a simple 2 pair for 7 under chips. Dang. Dang, 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 dang.
Fold.
That's a king and I get to check it for free? Heck yeah. Nice. Alright. Ooh. Jacks. He has a jack. Nope. Nope. He has it. Nope. I'm not trying my luck there. Nope. That 3 of a kind will rob me blind. Mm-mm.
I'll fold.
10 and a 5. Oh boy.
Oh, I'm raising.
I'll call. Check it.
I'll bet.
I fold.
Would have had a pair of 10s. Ace high. I don't think that's enough though. Nope.
Not a fold. Not call. I am out.
check. Unfold.
Yeah, that was garbage. That was a garbage round. Alright, seriously. Let's see it. That's what I want.
I'm raising you. I'm calling.
I'll stick around. Pause.
I'm in. Oh no.
No,
No, man, why?
Forward.
I'll call. Eight.
Check.
Bet.
You call. Check.
Yep, that's straight. That's a straight. 6, 7, 8. Somebody's got that 4 or a 9. Yep, there's the 4. Knew it. Freaking knew it. Alright. Queen and an 8.
Got a call.
Okay. I'll go in. Probably gonna regret this, but
Check.
I'm checking. Let me get this rolling. I'm betting. I mean,
I'll do it.
fold.
I'm waiting on that queen to show up. Ooh. Okay. This is the point where I can't do this anymore. Jack, 10, Jack, Queen. No, I'm out. Enjoy. Shouldn't even called the second one. But I thought maybe there was a chance for a 2-pair, but no.
I'm done. Fold.
Is it strong enough? I'll try it. I'll try it.
I'll call.
Maybe the 7 will show. Maybe. That's 2-pair.
I call you.
I'll fold.
And fold.
That's 2-pair. All I need is one more. Ah, there's the queen. I'll call it. I have a stronger pair. I feel like anyway.
I'll bet this.
Sure. See who wins. That's not muck. A pair of 7s is not muck. The heck, game? That's bullcrap. I had a 2 pair and you know it. Man. Whatever. No, I'm done. No. I'm not fooling with no more queens.
I'm in.
I'm raising.
Queen is what got me in trouble in the first place in this game. Should have never messed with that. Are you... Really? Really? A pair of 7s on the flop. Really? The heck is that? Alright. You know what? I'm feeling lucky. That ace has to drop, man. It has to. We've only seen 1 ace so far. Well, 2 aces so far. It has to drop. Pair of 9s.
I'm checking.
Okay. They don't have anything better.
I'll check.
There it is.
I check.
Come on. Bet. Bet. Do it.
I'll check it.
Have some balls, gentlemen. Nope. All in.
I'm gonna raise. Fold. Gotta fold.
Okay, what do you have? 9, 10, Jack, Queen. Are you serious?
I can't believe you got through. You should have won that night.
Not cool. That's wild. I did not expect that straight. That threw me for a loop.
I'll stick around.
I fold. I'll fold.
I'm calm.
Check.
Check it.
Check.
I'm out.
That's gotta be an ace. She's gotta have an ace. Yeah. instinct is telling me stay away from this one, but I have a feeling. I have a gut feeling.
I guess I'll call.
I'm checking.
I have a gut feeling. Okay.
I'll check.
Check.
Dang. Jack, Queen, King, Ace. No way.
Got to go.
Nope.
I fold. I'm done.
Yeah. I had a feeling I should have left that hand alone. Dang it.
I am out.
How about a little more?
Nope. Low cards of that level are garbage. No, thank you.
I'll bet. I am checking. Here we go. Let's get this thing started. Call.
He is a king.
Check it. Check.
Or nothing at all. Okay, see, that was a pair of fives. How did I not get credit for the pair of sevens? I don't get it.
Fold.
82.
Fold. Fine. I'll call you.
I check.
Check for free. Why not? Shout out Koang. He says idle.
Fold.
I'm out. I'll take it. I'm not going to play around with that. I just don't want it. She'll eventually bet on it, and it's just like, nah, it's just not worth my time.
Fold.
I'm feeling a bit. I fold.
Raise.
I got a raise. I am out.
I got to raise.
I call.
I'll bet.
Take.
Call.
I'll play.
I'm in.
Call.
Bet.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Call.
Call.
Check it.
I'll check.
I will be checking.
All right.
I'll stick around.
Either he's bluffing or he has a 10.
Here's a little more.
This pot's up topic.
She has a straight.
Okay.
She has a straight, 100%. And you're all falling for it. This is not going to end well.
I'm checking.
Check it.
I'll check.
Check it.
She did not get what she wanted. She still won though. Yep.
Raise.
I'll fold.
I'll call.
I'm out.
I fold. Call.
I'm calling.
Check it.
Bet.
I got a raise for you. I'll raise.
Okay, I'll call.
I am in.
I'm raising. I'm calling.
I'll call.
I'm in.
Check.
I'll start things. Bet.
I guess I'll call. Gotta raise that.
I'll play.
I'm raising.
Call. Call.
Okay, I'll call you. I will check.
I'll bet.
I'm in. I'll stick around. Call.
I shall fold.
Could we possibly be seeing our first eliminations? That was a really interesting round.
Call. Fine. I'll call you.
I'm folding. Got to go. I fold. I'll call.
I'll see.
I'm calling.
I'll check.
All right. Now it's time to go on the defensive and let these guys battle it out.
Start things. Bet.
I'm calling. Hold.
Yeah, I'll call it.
Call.
Call it. I'm glad. Bet.
Nah.
I'll call.
That's right. All of it.
I'm calling.
Oh, I don't know that I would do that.
Check.
Check. I'm checking.
Interesting. One down.
Fold. Heck it.
I'm raising.
Fold.
I'm in. Bet. I'm folding.
Okay. Interesting so far. Interesting. So far, so good.
I'll stick around.
Yeah.
I am out.
I'll fold. Calling.
I'll bet.
Call. Call. I'm checking.
Check.
Bet. I'm in.
Call.
Check it.
One of them's got that king or the ace.
Call.
Does he have two diamonds?
Calling.
Does he have two diamonds?
Check.
Hey, that's another one gone. And there were 6 more left.
Fold. I fold. I fold.
I'm out.
I mean,
out, dog.
I'll call.
Check.
Hmm?
I'm checking.
Checking.
Bat.
I'm in.
I'm out.
Let's see how committed to this you really are.
I'll get this game started. Bet.
I'm raising.
I'll raise.
I'll raise you.
Fine. I'll call you.
Here we go. Look at this pot. Oh my god.
Check it.
Time to go all in, friends.
I'll fold.
What a freaking win right there. Oh my god. On a pair of kings. Ooh.
Yeah, I gotta fold.
I got a raise.
I'm calling.
7 and a 6. Okay.
I'll call.
Got a call.
Fold.
Check.
Check it.
Here's some to get us started. Call.
Check it out.
All right. Call.
Check
Call.
out. Check out.
I am checking.
Call.
Okay. I'm all in.
Call.
Hmm?
Checking.
Bet.
Yes, the king.
Raise it.
Take it.
I'm calling.
Ooh. That's another one gone. Top 6. Now I need to be careful.
Fold.
I'm raising.
Take it.
Gotta raise. Sorry about that.
Got to go. I fold.
Nope.
I'll fold. I'll call.
I'm checking.
I will be checking.
Check.
I will bet.
I'll fold.
Okay, okay.
Gotta go, friend.
Got to go. I fold.
Raise.
Call it. Check it.
Bet.
Oh.
Fold. I'm eat.
Call.
Jacking.
I'll bet.
I'm out.
I shall fold.
I'm out.
I thought to raise.
Nah.
Heck no.
I am out.
Hmm.
I'm calling.
Take it. I will check. I will be checking.
I'll bet.
I'll call. I will check.
Bet.
Call. Check it.
I'll start things. Bet.
I'm calling.
One of them's got a straight. Oh, two pair. Ooh, he's down to 25.
I'll call.
I fold.
I'm checking. I'll check.
I'll check.
I'll bet.
Mm. it. Fold.
Top 5. Here we go.
I'll call.
Got to go. I fold.
Yeah, gotta fold.
I'm checking.
Well, Vicky, knock him out.
Bet.
There you go.
Gotta go, friend.
Okay. That's what I want.
I call.
Raise.
Call.
Here's some to get us started.
I'm calling.
Still have the stronger one. I know I do.
I'll bet.
What do you have?
Call.
Probably like a pair of 10s or something.
Check.
I don't have muck, dude. I have a king. Whatever.
I'll fold.
Call.
I check.
Three, 4, 5, 6.
Check.
Bet.
What are the chances? What are the chances, dude? Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Nope. Nope. Can't do it.
I'm out,
Garbage.
dog.
I am out.
Calling.
Fold.
I'll raise.
I am in.
Call.
Check.
I'll start things. Bet.
I'm folding.
I'll stay in. Okay, all of it.
Call it.
Ooh. Come on, Sydney. Knock her out.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh well.
Last three. No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I'm calling.
It's not worth it. I knew it.
Ooh, I'm in.
Ooh. Can he knock her out? Can he do it?
I'll start things.
Oh my god.
I'm all in. Man.
Let's go. Last two. Last two standing. Oof.
I'll check.
Check that. It's garbage, but I'll check it.
I'll check.
Bet.
Oh, can't do it. Oh. Last one. Make it count. Be alive. Could be alive. Oh, that's garbage. Ooh. There it is.
Ooh, that is nice.
He won. Congrats. I got second though. I'll take second. That's cool. Yeah. I'll take second. Very, very nice. I actually have to win in order to get in? Are you freaking serious? Oh, bull crap. Third or better. Okay. Well, we'll do that next time. I was so close. Oh my goodness, I was so close. That's the closest I've been so far. Tables estimated 36. Okay. Well, that will do it. I gotta get some food and call it a night. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so. And don't forget to check out the Facebook group page, Keep Pounding in all caps, for in-game post polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news, such as scheduling for the channel, and for the Yahoo Sports app, Keep Pounding Fantasy Football League. If you want to check out, if you want to get your hands on an intro, like the one you see right here. If you're a content creator, go check out Lindara Ty on Instagram using her last name first, Ty, T-A-I, Lindara, Lindara. Video, panels, content stuff, all that, videos, panels, everything else. She's looking for new clients. She's fairly priced and awesome to work with. Tell her we sent you, she'll hook you up. Lindara Ty on Instagram. Shout out to David Screws. Shout out to Ko Ang. Shout out to anybody else that joined during the stream that was watching. And shout out to the entire Keep Pounding Panthers family, man. We love you all. We'll do some game streaming this week. We'll do some Assassin's Creed Odyssey with the DLC. So that's coming up. And of course, Game of Thrones King's Road. We'll do a little bit of that too later on. Appreciate you guys, and stay happy, healthy, and well. And we will see you guys in the next stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry about the Wi-Fi issues. Just use this stream and, listen to the summary. That'll tell you everything you need to know. Alright, guys. See you guys next time. Peace. As always, keep pounding.